Hey everybody, welcome back to another Warzone 2 video. Today's video, as you guys saw by the title, Raven have potentially fixed Warzone 2.0. So this is kind of crazy. We had an update that came out 2 days ago, as well as Raven also put out some interesting tweets yesterday, and that's what we're going to be going over. So before we get into this, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, that way you guys don't miss out on any more Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 videos. A lot of cool stuff coming up, as well as we got leaks and stuff for Season 2, so make sure you guys are subscribed so you guys don't miss out on that. But here we go. Let's get started. So there was a patch that went live for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 2 days ago. So in this patch, they posted, they had a bunch of different stuff in there. Not going to cover, really anything in here besides the Warzone 2 stuff. So the most important Warzone 2 things that happen here are some gameplay changes. They say here, gameplay changes by station. Reduce the cost of the primary loadout weapons to $2,500 down from $5,000. So they literally slash the price of getting your primary loadout weapons in half. So, I mean, potentially that's good. So now, you can get to your primary weapon pretty close to almost right off the bat. Because honestly, like, getting it is super fast, especially if you do a bunch of safe crackers. Then you're able to just, get a ton of money. And then if you land on a safe cracker that's near a buy station, then, you'll be able to get your primary weapon super fast. I mean, especially, like, even before now, with safe crackers, you're able to get it, $5,000 ain't even that much. But now they've halved it down to $2,500. So, that's pretty good. As well as they've also made some other changes to it. So here we go. They say gameplay. The chance to encounter multiple circles in Battle Royale has been reduced to 15%, down from 33%. So instead of a 1 in 3 chance, now you are down to a bit over like a 1 in 6 chance to get this. They also say that the heavy chopper has been disabled in Battle Royale while we investigate options to balance this vehicle for late game. They doubled the average number of buy stations per Battle Royale match, and the loadout drop public event in Battle Royale will occur during the second circle, one circle earlier than before. So that is kind of crazy. So I mean, like I mentioned before, they half the price of the buy station of your primary weapon in a buy station, as well as they also doubled the average number of buy stations per Battle Royale match. So literally pretty much put in twice as many buy stations, as well as your loadout drop will happen an entire circle earlier. So all these changes are obviously, coming in here to appease the community. The community's been very vocal about this, especially over on Twitter, about how they don't like this new looting system and the way that you get your loadouts and all this stuff. And it's interesting how they're doing this, though, because they're not going, completely back to Warzone 1, where you can buy, a loadout drop and you can throw it down. But as well as they're also, not completely sticking with their original vision for Warzone 2. So I don't know, it's interesting. It's interesting to see some sort of compromises here. But actually playing it, it doesn't really change a lot of the gameplay, in my opinion. It kind of does. Like, yeah, you're able to get, like, a primary weapon a little bit earlier and stuff. But, honestly, in a lot of Warzone 2 matches I've played, I don't find that many enemies early on in the game. A lot of my kills and stuff end up coming in some of the later circles. So, having a loadout is good just in case. But, especially on, like, the second circle, like, the freaking map is so big that you're not able to find a ton of people all the time. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this in the comments down below. What do you guys think about that update, that patch that released? But now let's go ahead and let's talk about Raven's tweets that they put out regarding this, that they put out yesterday. So they put out some really interesting stuff about this, which, here we go. They say, Raven Software put out a tweet, have a holly jolly hashtag Warzone 2. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a loadout drop grenade. Now available at buy stations across all Mazra. Ooh, okay. And then they say, loadout drop grenades are currently enabled in Battle Royale for players to purchase via buy station, and the pricing is below. Solos is $8,000, duos $16,000, trios $24,000, and quads $32,000. Whoa. Okay, and they say that the continuity of this feature will depend on feedback we receive and overall impact on the Battle Royale experience in Warzone 2. In the meantime, enjoy. Whoa, okay, so basically, this is another step towards making the game more like Warzone 1, where now you can actually get a loadout drop, the loadout drop grenades. But, like they say here, the pricing is kind of what gets you here, though, is $8,000 in solo. So, like, yeah, they dropped the price of just buying a primary weapon from $5,000 to $2,500. But yeah, if you have $2,500, then you could go ahead and save up another $5,500 and just get a whole entire loadout drop. Or if you're in duos, it's another 8,000. Trios adds another 8, and quads adds another 8. But $32,000 for a loadout drop in quads. Now that's interesting. Honestly, I think it makes sense, you know, like it should scale in accordance to how many players and like what you're playing. I think that makes the most sense. But I'm interested to see what the community feels about this. If they think it's too high or something like that, if it's too much, that it should be cheaper. You know, I'm sure the community would love for it to be like $2,000 to get your loadout. But honestly, I kind of want to make another video specifically talking about some of these changes and stuff, the loadouts and stuff. I don't really want to dive into my personal opinions too much in this, because I have a feeling that the community and I aren't going to agree too much here. But I'm interested to hear your guys' opinions on this. Maybe we'll cover some of that and kind of have a conversation about that in another video. But I don't know, it's interesting though. And then it's interesting as well that Raven does acknowledge here. They say the continuity of this feature will depend on feedback we receive and overall impact on the Battle Royale experience. In the meantime, enjoy. So basically saying, you know, they're going to see how it plays out, see the community's reaction to this, as well as see how it actually impacts Battle Royale. So I'm sure they're going to be checking out the stats and stuff, checking out all the numbers and stuff behind the scenes of, okay, how is this actually impacting the game? You know, are people getting more kills earlier? You know, how many people are actually getting the loadouts? You know, is it like way more expensive and so not enough people are buying them or whatever? You know, I'm sure they're looking at all of this data and making different decisions based on that. But it is interesting though, and it's very nice to actually have some clear communication here for them to say that, you know, hey, this is what we're trying to do, but, you know, this is kind of only a temporary measure. That they're doing this just temporarily, and they're going to see what happens and then kind of go from there. So rather, you know, they could, if they feel like it, they could just reverse this change completely and just say, nope, we don't want to do this anymore. Or they could say, you know what, this is a good change and keep it. Or they could be like, you know what, this is not enough of a change and put it further. You know, maybe they make loadout drops like $5,000 in solo, and, you know, 10,000 in duos, 15,000 in trios, and 20,000 in quads. You know, potentially they could do that. They could make it even easier and stuff like that. But I don't know. It is a very interesting thing though, and it kind of shows where Raven is heading in the direction for Warzone 2 compared to say Infinity Ward, because I mean, part of that also comes down to communication. I feel like Raven has always been a little bit better at communicating than Infinity Ward has. I just don't get it. Like, I feel like with this game, I thought we were going to be having a lot better experience, but it honestly like seems quite a bit like Modern Warfare 2019's, where as soon as that game was released, it's like the developers just kind of up and left. Like, we didn't hear almost anything from the developers for a couple months. It's like every time they'd post, the community would absolutely just dog on them, and so then they just like refuse to post anything. It's like, hey, could we like get an update for the game? Can you guys talk to us about the status of the game? You know, any updates, any new content stuff coming out? Like, I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm sure a lot of the community, you know, doesn't remember that because they joined in when Warzone came out in March of 2020. But back then, you know, in November and in December of 2019, things were a little rough for Modern Warfare 2019. And then, yeah, I think part of that is due to Infinity Ward's communication. So it's nice to see Raven here actually actively communicating here. And I really like that personally. I like them, you know, developers, when they interact with the community like this, and they, you know, they can say stuff like this. They can say, hey, you know, if you know, we're gonna be testing this feature out. Basically, they're not just saying like, yep, here's our vision, and we are not doing anything about it. They're saying, yeah, we're gonna try something out. If it doesn't work, then so be it. But at least they're acknowledging that and, you know, telling us about their vision, basically. They're saying they're testing this feature out rather than just implementing it and potentially taking it away later. So, very interesting topic here. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys like these changes? Do you guys think this is improving Warzone 2.0? I know a lot of people are like, hey, I mean, this is another step towards making the game closer to how it was in Warzone 1, but then other people, you know, disagree, and they don't think loadout should even be in the game and stuff like that. But personally, I think there's bigger issues with the game rather than, you know, the loadouts. I think stuff like the actual looting system itself needed to be changed first, because the looting is honestly kind of dreary at times, where like you're trying to pick up a certain weapon on the ground and your character ends up just picking up tons of ammo and rockets and other stuff. Like, you can't pick up exactly what you want. I wish you could bring up a menu of what is on the ground that you're like looking at, basically, and you could pick whatever you specifically wanted. You know, I think the overall looting experience needs to be overhauled, and there's some other things that need to change first. But I mean, there's other stuff like plating while sprinting. I know the community's kind of up in arms about that, being like, we need to be able to plate while sprint and all this stuff. And people are like, oh, the movement sucks. We need to go back to Warzone 1 movement and stuff. So there's a lot of different stuff. That's why I want to cover that in a separate video. But I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on this and let you guys know about these changes and stuff, see how this actually plays out within Warzone 2. And yeah, I wonder if this will actually bring players back into Warzone 2, because there's a lot of talk about the community kind of dropping off with Warzone 2, and that, you know, not a lot of people are playing it apparently. So that's another topic for another video, but that's going to do it, guys. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments down below. Read all your comments, so make sure you guys comment, as well as it also helps out the algorithm for most of these videos. So if you guys enjoy the channel and this content, make sure you guys show your support by giving the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and also by dropping a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.